Morena te Maria koutou. Beautiful to see all your kanohi, all your faces this morning. I am going to begin us with karakia. Karakia timatanga. E noi tātou. Hauora mai runga, hauora mai raro, hauora mai roto, hauora mai waho. Hauora te pūtaki o tēnei kaupapa kia pūrangi aho tātou I te wānanga me te kōrero. Tēnei te titi ake te pau hauora ki te pūtaki o tēnei wānanga. Tuturu o whiti whakamaua kia tēnā, haumi e hui e, tae ki e. E mihi ane ki a tātou kua whakakotahi mai ki te kaupapa o te Pūaha Talks. And we're talking about tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa. And our kōrero today is around, because we're going to, well, actually it's a little way off, but we're going to be moving soon from Kōanga into Raumati. And we're going to have a bit of a kōrero about that. Now, some of you on the screen know who I am. I know I work with some of you, I know some of you, but it's beautiful to be here. So, tauranga moana, maua o maunga, nā te rangi nui, nai te rangi, nā te pukenga e tau nei. He taho toku pāpā no nai te rangi nā te pukenga, nai te rangi nui me te arawa oku iwin, mo nā pōtiki toku hapu, no tauranga moana, tauranga tangata. He taho toku māma no Stilo, Whitehorn, Denison and McKissick whānau, and they're from all over Europe and all of the United Kingdom and Ireland and Scotland and all those places and Welsh. Kia ora, my name is Tuihana Ohia. I am an associate for Centre for Social Impact. And I'm now going to quickly hand it over to Michelle because I always forget to do this because Michelle has got a key thing that she needs to kōrero about. So over to you, Michelle.
Kia ora. Thank you, Tuihana, and thanks for our beautiful karakia. Morena koutou, ko Michelle Gallagher toko ingoa. I do the behind-the-scenes support for our awesome associates and team at CSI. But we just wanted to give you a big, warm welcome. And I don't know about you, but a little gentle session to end the year feels so needed after such a busy 2026. If you're feeling me, yeah. I agreed. Sorry, I'll just let a few more people in. Here we go. And yeah, I just to start off with these sessions by the Centre for Social Impact, Te Pūaha Talks. They are brought to you with support from Foundation North. They're our free koha to the community sector. And one of the things we like to gather is how many people might have got funding from Foundation North over the years. So if you can get your mouses ready, could you vote in this quick little data collection poll? Oh, you're quick today. Thanks, everybody. Awesome. Thank you. That is great. Lovely. And a little bit of housekeeping for today. We are recording. Everything stays confidential in the chat if you feel like you've got some really personal kōrero you want to put in there. But there will be time for a little bit of participation. So please share with us. We'd love to hear how everything is for you as well. And yeah, back to you, Tuihana. Thanks, everyone.
Beautiful. So kia ora, everybody. Thank you for the lovely morena koutou in the chat. Really love that. And as I said, beautiful to see all your faces this morning. There's not too many of us, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if you can please share how you're coming into the space today. Just a kupu or two. We don't want a whole kōrero, but just a kupu or two from each of you. If you decide that you do need a kōrero, I might start singing, and that comes from a place of love, whānau. So just one or two words about how you're coming into the space, and please be honest with your kōrero and puno with your kōrero. So I'm going to start with me. Just because in it, so I'm really aware that we're coming into the first day today of tamatea. Kei te pai, Crystal, You can put it in the chat if you like. Um, Tamatea phases for me often make me feel a little, oof, like I have to be mindful of what I say, how I walk, not writing lists that are with 10 lots of things to do. Just what's a list of like 3 or 4 things that I need to achieve today in my day, because tamatea can make me personally feel really unsettled. So I'm just aware of that. We've just had a big moon too, so the retrograde, which made us all feel oof, even during the tangaro phases where we feel quite productive. So today, I'm just coming in with a little self-awareness. Kia ora. I'm going to hand it over to Karania. Oh, she actually put it in the chat. She said nenge, didn't you, Karania? We can't hear you.
Just need to move your mic down, I think.
That's helpful, isn't it? Thank you, Michelle. Kia ora. Yeah, feeling a bit tired this morning, actually. Very slow start for me, which is unusual. I'm usually, in a routine, boom, 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 here by 7:30, but really just listened to my body this morning, my tinana, and yeah, slow start. Kia ora.
Hand it over, please, to anyone.
I can see beautiful Tina. Your face is on the screen. Kia ora, Tina.
Kia ora. I assume you mean there's no other Tinas, that's me?
Kia whai.
Kia ora, from Rotorua. Yes, this morning I haven't been to one of these before, so I'm feeling very excited and privileged to be here, and yeah, feeling somewhat depleted, but really curious and open to the day. So I bring a multitude of things, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Kia ora.
Kia
I'll
ora.
pass over to Lisa.
Doing the same thing as Karinia. Here we go. Yeah, morena tatou. I'm feeling a bit ngenge as well. Yeah, just I think had a big day at work yesterday. Lots of people in the whare, and yeah, energy and noise. It can be uplifting, but also a bit tiring and heavy. So yeah, but excited for this session. I will pass to Nick.
Kia ora. Hi, everyone. I'm Nick, and I'm arriving pretty excited. I think I have quite a lot of stuff to do, but this morning I also received just a level of peace, so I feel rested. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I'd love to hear from Gauri.
Kia ora, Nick. Morena tātou, morena. Tēnā koe Tuihana. I'm calling in here from Kirikiriroa, and I'm coming from a place of appreciation. I tend to join these Hauora seasonal gatherings, and they just fill me up. They make my heart nice and warm, and especially at this time of year where some people might be feeling a bit frantic because we're sort of coming up very rapidly to the end of the year. I appreciate the time to just breathe and take that moment to reflect. Kia ora. I will pass on. I haven't been keeping track of who has actually spoken, but I'll just pass on. Sorry, I just have to click to the next screen. Jeanette.
Kia ora koutou, calling in from Grief Support Services in Tauranga. Yeah, I haven't been to one of these either, and I'm curious and just looking forward to it. Where I'm at, I gave myself a bit of a slower start this morning too, and feel like I need it in what feels like sort of building up to the end of the year. The pace is picking up, and I'm no thanks. So that's me.
Beautiful.
I'll pass on to Robin.
Morena. I'm coming from a place of curiosity. One of my colleagues participated in one of these seminars and she shared it and found it very helpful. Jeanette's a colleague of mine. I work at Grief Support Services too. It's lovely to see you, Jeanette. I get affected a lot by the weather, but I haven't really considered it in a more internal reflective space. So yeah, I'm here today to learn. Thank you. I'd like to pass it over to Tui.
Morena koutou. I'm coming to you from Wellsford today. I work for Te Hauora, supporting whānau in the community. I'm finding life a bit frantic at the moment, so I'm always checking the maramataka to gauge energies and feel like I have a constant need to balance and ground, so becoming toe. So I'm looking forward to this session today. And I'll pass it on to Lauren.
Oh, morena koutou. Lovely to see you all. Yes, I'm bringing conflicting emotions. I'm tired, but I'm excited at the same time. So my social calendar is overflowing this week, and I'm an introvert, so that's always going to be interesting. But I'm still having fun and still smiling. I will pass to Zara.
Kia ora koutou. I am zooming in from Raumati in the Otago, deep south, and I am arriving here today with, I like the word a few people have used, curiosity, trying to live a lot more by the seasons, but have also moved into a role where I'm supporting others. So looking to soak up what I can to be able to support the team and hopefully bestow some gems on them as well from today. I am going to have to check the little list here of who is remaining, so just bear with me for a second. Kirsty, could I pass to Kirsty?
Morena koutou. Yes, I'm coming from Tamaki today, and I'm really looking forward to some calm among the chaos. It's beautiful to see you all here, and I look forward to hearing some more pearls of wisdom from Tuihana. Kia ora. Now, I believe we haven't yet heard from Jeanette Jones. Is that right? Jeanette, you have. Uh-oh, better scroll through the list.
Oh, good, Kirsty. We could go to Mariri.
Mariri. Perfect. Thank you, Michelle.
Mauri ora, e te whānau whānui, ko Mariri.
Maybe frozen.
She has. We'll go back to Mariri. Ki te pai. Imogen. Should we go to Imogen?
Te maria koutou. So nice to be on this call. I think, like many of you, a mix of really excited to be here. This is my first time coming to one of these hui, but also quite tired. I wrote the date in my notebook this morning and realized it's a month till Christmas, which I think has crept up on us, but also we're all feeling pretty tired. And yeah, just have a very busy day of meetings. And I think that is one of the days where it is so important, especially to prioritize doing things like this, and connecting with others and kind of finding some equilibrium. So thank you so much. I will pass on to a familiar face, which is Sajina.
Oh, ata mari, kia ora koutou, and kia ora Imogen, pai tuki te koe. So lovely to see you, Imogen. It's been a little while.
Morena.
Morena. Morena koutou, ko Sajina hau. I am dialing in from Rotorua. This morning, it's the first time that I have one of these kaupapa as well. So open to whatever comes from today's hui. And sadly, yeah, it's just been a time of a lot of heaviness for me. I've just come out of a tangihanga process, sadly. But still, but feeling okay despite that. I'm still maurito. And I have no idea who might be there. Maybe there's Marere back to go next. Kia ora, Marere. Ngā mihi.
Kia ora no koutou. I'm not really sure how I managed to disconnect myself mid-talking, but that was very clever of me. I'm Marere and I'm a midwife, and I come from the mahi with the hapu whānau space. And I'm coming here this morning feeling quite open. I'm really interested in transitions, like moving from one phase to another phase, trying to be aware of that in between space. And yeah, especially with our connection to taiao. Anyway. Oh, sorry. I might have, while I disconnected myself, missed who else spoke.
Oh, good. We can go to Nicola.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Kia ora, it's whānau. I'm zooming in from Hamilton today, and I'm feeling really excited and curious to learn more about this kaupapa. However, at the moment, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed because I'm managing summer school at uni as well as mahi, and I'm writing an assignment while I'm trying to listen to this as well. So I'll be flicking in between screens and stuff, but I'm also feeling really motivated to put the mahi in and get things done to enjoy the summer season and the holidays coming up. I will hand it to, sorry, Crystal. Have we had Crystal? Oh, she's in the chat.
Sue Marie. Thanks, Nicola.
Hi guys, this is my first session joining in, but I could definitely not ever say no to something like this if I saw Tuihana's name connected to it, so I am very excited to join in today. Oh, sorry, I'm not too sure who's left.
Okay, Rachel Dubois, because I just wanted to say the surname because it's, it's Dubois. I don't know. French, gorgeous.
Kia ora koutou. Sorry, I'm also got lots of things going on. That's why I haven't had my camera on yet. Yeah, I'm from the Dust Palace, a circus theatre company based here in Tāmaki. I'm just here to give something to myself, I think, for the end of the year, because I give to everyone else all the time. So yeah, it's my little treat. I'm happy to be here. Kia ora.
Beautiful, thank you. And Crystal's responded in the chat. And Desiree.
We can't hear you, Desiree.
Oh, kia ora. Kia ora ai te whānau. I'm coming in from the beautiful Tāmaki Makaurau, e tēnei ata, and I am feeling maurito, kei te oro ahau, and just to be present is the main thing. So,
Thank you. I think that's everyone. Yes, great. We ended up doing a bit of whakawhanaungatanga. You've got to love that. Before we go any further, I just want to mihi to those who have lost loved ones. So just moi mai rā, me te rangatira me whaia, me whānau who may have passed. I know that we've got a tangi back home in Tauranga at the moment, so just to, where's she gone? Sajina, just want to mihi to you and to your whānau, e hoa, and yeah, just sending a whole lot of aroha. It's always a bit challenging when it's right before Christmas. So yeah, much love to you, sister. So kia ora whānau. I feel a little bit, to be honest, so many of you have come in here and never been to one of these sessions before. So just a precursor is I'm a little bit left of center. I can cry a little bit. I can also get you to dance a little bit sometimes. And I tend to sing quite a little bit. What I'm hearing from you today is a few of you just in a bit of overwhelm as we lead into this time of Christmas. And I was thinking, okay, do we dance today or do we breathe today? And I just think that we might do both, but I think in order to bring us into the session, I think it would be really beautiful to do some bit of breath work and just collectively share in the ha. Ha, he kupu Māori ha, interpretation is breath. And if you think about it, if we're not breathing, then we are with those that have passed. So breath is really important, and our tūpuna, our ancestors knew this very, 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 very well. In fact, it was an intrinsic part of our lives, and it still is to this day. But the way that they practiced it and the way that we might practice it can be a little different. So I'm just going to ask us all, I know that some of us are working on assignments or we've got other work that we're working on, and I'm totally fine with that. But what I would love to ask you to do is to just, for 2 minutes, if you can just put that to the side and just get really relaxed in your seat. And I'm aware that some of you are in offices, and so you've got people surrounding you. But I just want you to focus on your breath. And I would recommend breathing in through your nose, out through your waha, out through your mouth. And when you're taking in your breath, is to think about taking it in from our belly button, from right deep in our puku. And so I'm just going to ask us, and I've got a great friend, Nina Kay, and I've learned lots of breathing techniques of her and of many others. So I'm just going to ask us to just give ourselves the gift of 2 minutes to just breathe, kapai. And if you feel a little bit of a niggle, then give that a breath. If you feel like you need a little bit of something, then give that to yourself through your breath. So this is just 2 minutes for you. Kapai? All right. So, kei roto, you might want to put your ringaringa, your hands onto your puku, onto your belly. But kei roto, breathing in. Kei waho, breathing out. Just like you to make sure you've got your feet planted on Papatuanuku or Mother Earth, and just breathe as you feel the need, not rushing it, just taking our time with breathing in, kei roto, and breathing out, kei waho. And if you hear some noise come into your head or into your thoughts as you're breathing, just focus back on your breath. Focus back on kei roto, breathing in, kei waho, breathing out. And as you listen to my voice, I'm going to ask you to breathe in and then pause at the top before you breathe out, and then pause at the bottom. So it's a breath, a pause, breathing out, and a pause. And now I would welcome us to take in 3 breaths together. And when we breathe out, it's to really ha it out. So breathing in, pausing, and breathing out. Again, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Shake, 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 da, 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 da. Shake, 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 da, da, da. Shake your booty, shake your booty. Shake, shake, shake. Okay. Oh, shake that out. Couple of things about when we do ha. I think ha actually reveals to us our true state of where we're actually at right now. And I saw Michelle take a yawn, and I was like, yeah, because you're tired. That's okay. But breath also allows us to really focus and really come into a place of feeling tone. And if you ever need a tool to calm, to settle, to bring yourself into focus, ha, you just need 2 minutes. And ha is a real gift that you can give to yourself. It's great before you need to prep before giving a public kōrero. Great if you're about to do a workshop. Great if you're just wanting to just kia tau. It's the quickest thing that you can do to distress and get into and change how your nervous system may be responding to things around you. Papai? Yeah, a little gift. Well, we're in the midst of Kōanga at the moment, and it definitely feels like Raumati is right around the corner. And Raumati actually, interestingly, in Te Ao Māori, we recognise it round about the same time as the summer solstice. The summer solstice within Aotearoa is happening on December the 22nd. He whakaaro Māori Te Ao Māori is that it'll happen around the 20th, 21st. And it's actually when the next feral moon comes. Now, the feral moon can be described sometimes as the dark moon, but actually feral is a really good time to reflect on the month that's been and to reset for the month that's coming. So if you think about it, when we're coming up to December and that time of the summer solstice, which is actually recognised in the maramataka as well, that is when Raumati begins in our calendar. That is when summer begins. And it'll go right through, if we're talking January, February, it'll probably go right through to March, which makes a lot of sense if you think about how the seasons feel like they're getting longer or they're changing a little bit. And Raumati can feel like, especially this time, I'm going to talk about this time actually more than I'm probably going to talk about Raumati a little bit, because this time is a time where the cacophony of things, the noise of things really feels like it's increasing. Where, like, I'm going to try really hard not to swear too, by the way, so I apologize in advance to all the aunties that are in the room with us today. And that is that, oh, and please pull me up if you don't understand some of the reo I'm using in my English. Kapai, it's okay. I was born and bred in Australia. Well, actually, I was born in Aotearoa, bred in Australia, and I've come back. And so sometimes when I first came back, I remember being in meetings and people would put reo in their English, and I'm thinking, what is going on? I don't understand. So please, if you feel that at all, please let me know. This time of the year, it's a challenging time because we're trying to get mahi done so that we can enjoy a bit of time with our whānau. And There's this mad kind of rush to the end. I must say, I haven't felt that so much around me, but I can feel that in this room today as we all come together. And there's this real thing about Christmas presents and this and that. And oh my God, like Lauren shared, her social calendar is like, I've got this on, and I've got this on, and then I've got this party, and then I've got that dinner, and then I've got this on and that on. And it, you know, for an extrovert like myself, I kind of totally vibe with all of that. But being an introvert, I can understand it's actually you're exhausted. Right? You're like, oh, holy heck, I need a break. So there's lots of things going on. There's lots of noise that is really like around us at the moment. Use that breath when you need to use the breath. 2 minutes is going to feel like a long time, but it's a real gift you can give yourself. Also, if you're thinking about presents, I don't know what's going on, but in my social media feed, and I love social media, in my social media feed at the moment, I'm really loving seeing that we are being encouraged to go to op shops, to shop for presents, to go to either Pakihi Māori, Pakihi Aotearoa, so small businesses, you know, because it's been a tough year for many, and buy from them or purchase from people that are artisans within our own country and supporting. But like, I don't know if you can see, but I'm a sustainable fashion person as well. So my family are probably going to get pre-loved kimono and all sorts of things that I've already got around me. You know, I went to Curio Noir recently, and Tiffany, who runs Curio Noir, which is a Māori perfumery on Ponsonby Road, gave me a soap. And I'm like, wow. But I'm like, no, you're going to gift that on to somebody, right? And then I got this little gift, which is a pahutakawa. And I was like, okay, it's a decoration. I could take that home to my mum. She would love that. So sometimes we can get caught up with how we're feeling, and I totally appreciate that and understand that, because our well-being does begin with us, whānau. It starts right here, right with us. And I would make some assumptions, and somebody said it. And where are you? Rachel. Rachel said, oh, I give to everybody. And when I think about all of you in the community space, in the charity space, you know, in the non-for-profit space, in that I'm helping mamas give birth space, you know, when I'm thinking about all of you and all the things that you do for many others, you must also give to yourself. So I'm encouraging you. And it is Raumati from a Te Ao Māori perspective, from a Māori, the worldview that I've been told. Raumati was a really busy time for us as Māori. We were like, you know, warring with one another. You know, that was us. You know, that was part of our makeup. I'm not going to apologize for the fact that we were that people. We were warrior people, right? But we were, you know, the nights were long, the days were the nights were short, the days were long. So we were up, we were being active. It was things to do. There were places, you know, it was about being really productive in our time because we had longer days. And it's interesting because Matariki was actually a time for us to rest. But as New Zealanders, we now know that it's actually a really busy time because the social calendar goes off again, you know. Well, there's things happening here and there and events and things. But it was traditionally a really busy time for us. So when we think, yes, when we finally get to the last day of mahi before we all go on holiday, we think, yes, we can rest now. We can rest now. But, you know, I'm going to flip it on our dial because, or flip that a little bit, because when I think about that time, I think about, okay, I'm going home to tauranga, cousins are all coming home from all over the motu or from Australia. They're going to come home. We're going to have family barbecues. We're all going to go down to the moana together, and we're going to enjoy this time. So it is busy, but it's a different kind of a busy, right? And actually, let's remove that word busy, okay? Let's get that out of our upoko, out of our head. Raumati is a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time of whānau. It's a beautiful time of bringing people together. Kapai? I'd really love to hear from you what summer means to you, what Raumati means to you. For me, it's totally beach, whānau, sleeping, eating. It's the one time we all really come together. But what is it for you? Please put it in the chat. I'd love to hear from you all. My father's not been too well, so I'm heading back to Melbourne, and I do not like Australia at Christmas time. It's not a fun place because it's hot. It's really hot. I'd rather be in Tauranga at the beach, but it's okay. My father needs us, and so we're all coming together. And my 3 sons are coming together, which is really exciting. But what is Raumati for you? If you can please put it in the chat. Kapai? I can see Nick really thinking. I love that, Nick. I'm waiting for you in the chat. Oh, nice. I'm busy to frame it more positively. Marere, I really like that. You asked me a really good question. I always say I'm really active. I'm active. Kapai. And yeah, I'm really productive. For me, it's super creative and also tapping up my mental inspiration, soaking up the warm forests and the lakes, replenishing, reconnecting with the ngāhere and moana and enjoying time with whānau, nature and creativity. Oh, Lisa, glittering water and sand in the bed. Yes, yes, yes. I love the sun and being outside. Kia ora, Sue Marie. Reconnecting with moana crystal. I love the heat. I also grew up in Australia, so the hotter and the sunnier, the better for me. Feels like summer and fun when everyone's tanning outside. Marere, I totally agree with you. But when you're a Melbourne girl, the beach, it's not like Sydney or Brisbane or the Gold Coast where there's beautiful beaches everywhere. You have to drive a little bit further when you come from Melbourne. Connection, whānau, manaakitanga, sand, long days and nights, aroha, peace. For me, it's whānau, sun and cool dips. Whānau time. Oh, Desiree, my homemade seafood chowder, he reka, girl. I'm up in Auckland this week and next week, just letting you know. Warmth of family and appreciation, relaxing, grounding, and reflection of the year, opening up to the world and its opportunities. Nick, I just want to hold that comment that Nick's made because it's also a wonderful time for reflection. And I think that when you say that, opening up the world and its opportunities, perfect. It is because you tend to relax. It's like, when you're in the shower and the best idea comes to you, or just as you're nodding off to sleep, and then suddenly you'll get, oh, yeah, it's that. Raumati is summer days in the sun by the moana, watermelon and berries or the shade of the ngāhere. Whānau time, recharging in the sun, intuitive action rather than prescribed action. Oh, I love that, Jeanette. Oh, we've got everybody loving on Desiree's seafood chowder. I love that. I'm from Singapore. Summer is year round, so we are buzzing all the time. Being here helps me appreciate summer distinctly for what it is from the other seasons too. That's beautiful, Nick. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your sharing. What I'm going to ask you, what we're going to do now is I want you to think about what it is that you're going to do for you during this time of Raumati. What is the gift that you're going to give yourself? Ka pai? And we're really lucky, you know, because we have many New Years. We've got Diwali, we've got Chinese New Year, we've got Matariki, and then we have the Gregorian calendar New Year as well. So we're very lucky. We have this opportunity to kind of reflect, rethink, and rejuvenate. But we're going to send you into, we haven't done this before, but we're doing it now. We're going to send you into chats, and we're going to ask you to think about and share what is the gift that you are giving yourself. Now, for the aunties, the nannies, the mums, and the sisters in the room. Sorry, Nick, but I just know this very much about wahine. And you'll know this because you work in the charitable non-for-profit community space, is you give to many others. And many, many wahine will say, oh, my family is my gift to myself. And yes, it absolutely is a gift to ourselves. But I'm asking you, what is it that you're giving to you? Ka pai Sumari, I'll catch up with you. What is it that you are going to give yourself? Ka pai? Any pātai before we send you off into the rooms?
Me?
Yes.
How many people would we like in each group, do you think? Maybe like 4?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
And whānau, take your time with this. We're going to send you into those rooms until 11 o'clock, ka pai. And so that's 4. Yeah, you'll get about, ka pai, about 4 minutes each. Beautiful. Okay, off you go, and I'll see you real soon. What I meant to also ask was that if there can be a speaker who can speak on behalf of your rōpū, on behalf of your group, to share back. Ka pai? Is everyone clear to pai with that? Yeah? But Marire, we already started having a conversation, so Marire by default is going to speak on behalf of her rōpū. Ka pai,
Kia
Marire.
ora no. In our rōpū, we had myself, Tui, and Lauren, and we just really talked about this Raumati, really trying to keep things simple and just enjoy simplicity. Myself and Tui were talking about how usually we work through, and we've always got mahi stuff as well as whānau stuff, and this year both of us have absolutely no mahi to do over the Christmas break, which is like, don't even know what to do with ourselves. But that's kind of the gift of that just slowing down and enjoying. And Lauren's really excited about her whānau coming to back home to live closer to where she is in Tāmaki, and just enjoying, her generations that they have in their whare, and just enjoying slow-paced whānau time. So we're keeping it simple.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Mariri. And sorry to put you. I volan aroha, people, is what I say. I volan aroha. So who else? Who else? Oh, I might have to volan aroha. Okay, Sarah, ka pai you.
I'm just self-nominating for our little group. I hope they don't mind. So I was with Lisa, Imogen, and Nick. I hope I've got all your names right. And we had a really lovely talk. We we, I think, all found the question quite confronting, to have to make that self-assessment. But Lisa started us off, and we all kind of came up with a word, I suppose, and her word was lightness, in a physical and sort of spiritual, emotional sense as well. Looking after her body, but also welcoming that lightness for a busy season. Imogen had a really exciting word, which was explore, due to a lot of change and a big move, and what that looks like for her. She has started on a new journey with learning. She's picked back up her taiao journey and her learning about whakapapa. So I really liked that word, explore, and what that means at a personal and physical level for her, and exploring her new town. Nick is new to New Zealand and is working between, I think how he put it, kind of two. He's left behind a difficult circumstance. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing, but that's perhaps brought him some grief, and he's processing that, but also the excitement of being in a new country and exploring and what that brings. And it was interesting that Nick came to this session because of another session he attended. And I think for someone who's new, to be engrossing himself in some wonderful learning is going to be really beneficial for him. And my word was slowness. I need to learn how to slow down. I think it was Nick who, one of us, mentioned about pace, and having that pace with yourself. Yeah, I find myself just giving a lot away and creating quite a nervous, anxious energy. So having slowness within myself, and I liked how Nick put that, having his own pace, kind of despite whatever else might be going on. So I'll be stealing that and figuring out what my pace is.
Beautiful, beautiful, Zoe. And sending you a whole lot of love, Nick. And who else, please?
Okay, some Voran Aroha. We have got a crew, which is Kirsty, Jeanette, and Gauri.
Let's go, Gauri. Ka pai, Gauri.
Oh no, I was it's like in the classroom. No, don't pick me. Don't pick me. We had actually there were 4 wahine in our group. Nicola, Kirsty, Jeanette, and myself. And I'm not going to be the only one to speak in our group. So Kirsty and Jeanette and Nicola, please jump in. We talked a lot about a warmth. We talked about connection with families, with our own families. We talked about connection to nature and taking the time to slow down, taking the time to listen. And I particularly spoke a little bit about enjoying the silence, because Jeanette had mentioned something about being silent, and kind of Zara, what you said, exploring that space and seeing what happens in those silences, and being aware of those and what comes out of being able to enjoy that and enjoy that for yourself. Kirsty and Jeanette and Nicola, anything else? I will hand the rako over to you.
Thank you, Gauri, and you spoke so well. I think you did sum it up very nicely. what I really enjoyed hearing was our whakaaro about reframing life's niggles, the situations that come along. And, it's like hearing the birds in the morning, coming through the window. Yes. And you could think of that as being a real nuisance, or you could look at that as you did at the opportunity to, make the best of it and think what a blessing this is. Or, as Nicola, I think it was you that spoke about parking a bit further away from where you needed to be, and it's getting your steps in for the day. So, just that reframing was something that really, really connected for me and resonated. So, it's looking at what life throws at you and making the best of that and thinking, how can I look positively in this space? And particularly in summertime, it's more about what gifts is summer bringing to me and how can I make the most of that? Anyway, I think I've spoken more than enough. Anyone else is welcome to jump in at this point, but yeah, that's my thoughts.
I'll just say one more thing from our group that I loved was focusing on stepping away from consuming, and that might be in any moment, rather than consuming music, consuming a podcast, consuming anything else, just to be still and silent and taking in nature. Yeah. Kia ora, Gody.
Beautiful. Did we have another group, Michelle?
What about Tina and Clinia? I think that might be you, Tina.
Yes, I think it's Tina too.
Sure, I didn't want to jump in there. Yes, we were a little wee group. So, Karenia, I welcome your input because actually it was a conversation between two people. I think we reflected on, the inherent, challenges of life and the reality of how those and that resonating with the thing of caring for others when becomes the norm. When you, without realizing, and then putting things of yourself to one side and how that can become quite insidious. So I think looking at the reality of that, and if that's an ongoing thing, how do you actually do something that's sustainable and realistic? So hearing from Karenia, I think it was realizing, there are some things that are available that we've stopped doing. And so things like, intentionally going to the beach more when it's accessible, taking the dog more for a walk, those things, the dog that sits there with arthritis, but still would enjoy being out and noticing that. I love that Karenia talked about things like connecting with potentially with kapahaka and the singing and being there as in the kaumata group and all that brings, rather than, oh, I'm not, that's not for me, or that. And I think, that thing for me of connection rang through true of actually connecting with people that are uplifting, that are for growth. And I've been disconnecting from some spaces that deplete from that. For me, more was just the more active noticing of what is around. So when I'm stepping outside, not so much thinking about what needs to be, what should be, what could be, but what is here. And just drinking in and being in that mental space that those things can steal away from, and stepping into the forest that is the end of my road that I haven't been in for months. So actually just entering, being in there because it's such a space. So I think it's the small things we were looking at that we've maybe forgotten about that are accessible for us. Is that it, Karenia, if you want to add in more?
I thought you summarised that very well, Tina. I think for me, there was a real moment when I just thought, yes, we actually do hold a lot without even knowing what we hold. So, yeah, that was a kind of a light bulb moment for me, actually. Kia ora. Thank you, Tina. Kia ora, Tuihana. Michelle.
We've got one more crew. I think they know who they are.
I was like, look, I could see Sagina. She's like, I'm thinking, has her name been mentioned yet? Okay, I'm volunteering you.
Kia ora. So in our rōpū we had Rachel Dubois, our French connection, and then we had Desiree and Crystal. So they're welcome to join me. But Crystal talked about going to the Cape Reinga. She's based in Dargaville, and taking some time out for her over Raumati to go and have some time at the Cape and take some time out for herself. And then Rachel, she spoke about, she actually had to leave. She tables her apologies because her tama is unwell, so she had to go. But she spoke about that since September, she talked about, was it, you might have to help me, Desiree, was it around her taking time out from social media? So she, in September, took like 10 days away, deleted all her work emails, and just, didn't have any social media. And she said it was a real blessing for her to not have that. So she's talking about, not doing that. And then I think for myself, I talked about going out on the kayak. I was inspired by Desiree is actually having some time out on the moana or out on the Wai. And so doing that, but also taking some more intentional steps on trying on a daily basis. And I think that's a kōrero that's come through here around trying each day to try and do something to give back to myself and look after my well-being, because I've been trying to be in that space lately. And I know Desiree also talked about going out on her paddleboard for herself, so some time for herself on her paddleboard, and you're getting away. We all just acknowledge how, as mama, aunties, queers, that we're always, a lot of us always in that mode of giving, and that sometimes we understand we need to give back to ourselves more. So I'm not sure if you wanted to add anything more, Crystal or Desiree.
No, you said it well, Sedina. Ngā mihi.
Beautiful, beautiful kōrero shared by you all. I just want to share a little bit with you around, I've worked in the wellbeing space now for quite a number of years, working with Te Wānau Aotearoa, with Vodafone, or now it's called One, with North Power, with Auckland Council. And it's interesting because I can remember, and I was saying to Michelle that, wellbeing used to be, what's that? This bloody wee, wah, kind of warm and fuzzy, like, what are you talking about? What's all that stuff? And now it's such a focus of so many organizations and so many of us in our day-to-day world and our whānau. But the word Hauora often has this hononga to well-being. And Hauora loosely has been referred to as health and hai, whakaaro, like pai. It is that. But the actual word Hauora, so the word ho is like the vital essence of who you are, which actually has the word ha in it, which is our breath, which is the vital essence of us living and breathing. And then ora is our well-being, is what keeps us vital, if you look up that word. So the words together are the vital essence of you. Ka pai? So when I ask, what are you going to do for you, that's actually placing your hauora at the forefront. And when you talk to things, they become. He kōrero, he kōrero, he kōrero. The more you say it, the more they become. And then someone made a reference to tinana, And if you think our tinana, our bodies, our physical well-being, he ata whakarongo. Whakarongo is to listen. Ata, when you place that word in front of another, is about really listening not just with these things, our taringa, our ears, but also listening with our wairua and listening to ourselves. So I'm going to just share with you, Dad kept having a swollen foot, right? Unbeknown to all of us. He goes into hospital and they basically say to him, well, actually, you got cancer. We all freak out as a whānau, and I'm all my immediate family in Australia, except for me and one son. So I'm far, far away from my father. It feels like I'm like, he might as well be across the other end of the world. Sent us all into a tailspin. And thank goodness he's been cleared of cancer, but he's still not well, but he's been cleared of cancer, which we're very grateful for. But in hindsight, Dad now knows that his tinana was actually telling him he wasn't good for quite a long time. But he just thought it was his diabetes playing up. So it's about really listening, but really that deeper listening to our tinana. That ata whakarongo, because our wairua will tell us, he whakaoro Pākehā wairua, it's very hard to describe wairua. It's like, oh, you know when your puku tells you something's not quite right, in your stomach, you're like, oh, that doesn't feel good, or that felt good. I had this weird dream last night. I'm not going to share it with you, but I woke up feeling really good and warm about it. And I was like, I don't know why I feel good and warm about that dream, but I woke up with this real warmth in my heart. And then there's other days when, you might meet someone and you just think, oh, it's about following that instinct that's within, because our brain is not just here. We believe that we have our brain here, we have our heart, we have our puku. And they tell us, well, we kind of already know sometimes, but we're like, we're too active, we're too productive to actually stop and just listen. And when you talk about that quiet, it's about listening into those quiet spaces. Because it's like te kore. Te kore feels like this, nothing, and kore means nothing. But in te kore, we know that it's the greatest expanse for learning. It's the time when you go into te kore, because you're going inside to yourself and you're like, I don't want to hear it. It's like when somebody passes, you'll often feel like, oh, it feels really like taumaha, like super heavy, and like, oh God, am I going to get through this, or a breakup of a relationship, or it can be many things that send us into those te kore spaces. And then you start to move from te kore, from this nothingness, and when you're not singing, when you're not laughing, and then suddenly you'll shift into te pō. Te pō is a night, but if we look up into the night sky, whānau, what do we see? Ngā whetū, the stars, and the stars are light. So even in those places of darkness, we see light. And then, ke te pai, Gary, we'll catch up. And then you move from te pō into te ao marama. Desiree, the flickers of light that happen in te pō. And if you think about it, the moon, the moon is changing too. And then you move into te ao marama, where it's light and bright and sunny. But man, have you learned a lot about yourself? And those are those quiet spaces. In those quiet spaces, they're gifts. They're gifts from your ancestors saying, kia tau, ground, be quiet for a little bit. And I'm really bad at being quiet. Just got to share with you. But being quiet and just sitting with it. It's like, when you have a little niggly thing and it pops up and you think, yeah, I've absorbed that. I've let that go. And then it could be a little while later and then it pops up again. When things pop up, It's because we actually need to go to those quiet spaces, because there is no negative in this world. He whakaaro tuihana, my thoughts. It's an opportunity to learn about ourselves. Ka pai? It's an opportunity. And never before have I heard tui like I'm hearing tui at the moment. He tohu. When the tui are out, when the kōwhai is blooming, when the pahutakawa blooms, they are actually tohu. They're actually signs. Signs from the environment, signs from our atua. When the tui is a manu of the atua rungu, and rungu is the atua of peace. And so when you hear the tui, I feel like tui is actually a direct connection to my heart, because when I was going through stages of kore, it's a tui, no word of a lie, at 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of winter, I distinctly heard a tui bird, and I knew peace is coming, because it felt very tumultuous. And Nick, and for those that come from other places in the world, you'll have your own tohu, eh? And it's like sometimes, Deva, I used to feel this. My grandmother, my nana, my koro, my grandparents sit just over to the side of my iPad. And sometimes you might feel that. Yeah, it's like someone's touching your hair, you know? Or when I used to go and see matakite, and a matakite is like someone who can feel and see people in the room with you. And they used to say to me, who's the tall, skinny lady? Man, has she got a lot to say? And my grandmother would always come. But it really used to really startle people, because they'd be like, whoa, she's like, I'll be like, yeah, that's my grandmother. And often when I feel this, I know it's one of them, just reminding me, hey, we're here. We may not be here physically, atinana, but we're here, wairua. Ka pai? So they never leave you completely. They're always with you. And I don't know why I feel like I need to say that to you, Nick, but that was a big something's like telling me you need to talk to Nick, Tuihana. So to everyone else in the room, aroha mai, we can all relate. Hey, we can all relate to those moments. So there's lots of gifts here. There's lots of gifts. There's lots of taonga. There's remembering ha. There's a gift that you're giving to yourself, because by giving to yourself, you're giving to your whānau. You're giving to the people that you serve. Papai, friends, whoever it may be. Remember, te whakarongo. And I'm terrible at listening to my body sometimes. I'm like, no. Sorry, I haven't got time for you to stop me today. I need to be productive. I need to be active. But boy, does it kick you in the nono later. You know, it gives you a bit of a kick up the bum if you're not listening. The maramataka will influence you. If it influences the moana, if it influences water, it's going to influence you, because we're made up of water. The places of the taiao, of the environment, are the greatest gifts that we can be given. Climb mauau, go by the water. There's all the things that we have at our fingertips. We are so lucky in Aotearoa. Ka pai? He kākano ahau, I rui a mai, I rangi a te a. 'Cause I can never be lost. I am a seed, born of greatness, descended from a line of chiefs. He kākanoa hau. He te ao Māori, our chiefs were not just men. We actually descend from amazing chiefs of women as well. I know that I do. But each one of us, no matter our whakapapa, I know I'm descended from queens through my Pākehā whānau. But no matter our whakapapa, no matter where we come from, no matter who we are all here because this has been planned and predestined by our ancestors to be here, to bring with us the gifts that we have, to share the gifts that we have, because you are all seeds born of greatness. Boom, boom. Ka pai? And I'm just going to let you sit with that for a minute. And then we're going to do a quick one word of how you're leaving this kōrero today. And we're going to start with Desiree. Ka pai, one kupu.
Grateful. Lovely.
Imogen.
Lighter.
Beautiful. Whai Jeanette.
Had a word. Encouraged.
Beautiful. Marire.
Kākano.
Lisa. Pardon? Your mic.
Happy.
Kirsty.
Reframing.
Beautiful. Karinia.
Peaceful.
Beautiful. Michelle.
Inspired.
Beautiful. Nick.
Moved.
Beautiful. Regina.
Maurito.
Beautiful sister. Tina.
Settled.
Beautiful. Tui.
Excited.
Beautiful. Crystal.
Harikua.
Beautiful. I love that. It's one of my favourite kupu. Harikua is joy, whānau. Zara.
Reflective.
Beautiful. So I would love you to take all of those beautiful kupu, to take all of the beautiful energy that we've shared in this space. I'm now going to close us. From the bottom of my heart to all your hearts, thank you so much. Have a beautiful, wonderful Raumati. Have a beautiful and wonderful Christmas. A beautiful and wonderful Gregorian calendar New Year. Enjoy your time with your whānau. Kia tautiranga Māori e. Rere hau pai Māori re. Kia ora whānau. Ngā mihi. Mwah.